The alien ship floated dead in space, its lights flickering like dying stars. Captain Veltar pressed his six-fingered hand against the cold metal wall of his bridge and felt the vibrations of a dying vessel. The Harmony's Edge had been the pride of the Galactic Federation's research fleet just 3 days ago. Now it was becoming a tomb. "Captain, the radiation levels are getting worse," his science officer Quental said. The young alien's blue skin had turned pale, and his normally bright eyes were dull with sickness. "The reactor core breach cannot be fixed with our tools." Veltar nodded sadly. He had known this would happen. When the pirates attacked them near the edge of known space, they had damaged the ship's most important systems. The Harmony's Edge could still fly, but the broken reactor was slowly killing everyone on board. 43 crew members, all of them peaceful scientists and diplomats, were dying from radiation poisoning. "How long do we have?" Veltar asked. "Maybe 4 days before the sickness kills us all," Quental replied. "Maybe 6 days before the reactor explodes and destroys the ship." Veltar looked around his bridge. The other crew members were working at their stations, but he could see they were all getting sick. Some were already too weak to stand. These were good people who had spent their lives learning about the galaxy and trying to make peace between different worlds. They did not deserve to die like this. "Sir, should I send a distress call to Federation space?" asked his communications officer. Veltar shook his head. "We are too far from any Federation ship. By the time help arrives, we will all be dead." The bridge fell silent except for the sound of failing machines. Everyone knew the captain was right. They were in the empty space between star systems, far from any trade routes or Federation patrols. No one would find them in time. Then Quental spoke up. "Captain, there is one option we have not tried." "What option?" "The Forbidden Sector, Sol 3, the Death World." Everyone on the bridge stopped working and looked at Quental. Speaking about the Deathworlders was against Federation rules. For over 100 years, the galaxy had kept the Sol system under strict quarantine. The creatures that lived there were too dangerous to contact. "You cannot be serious," Veltar said. "I am, sir. Sol 3 is only 2 light years from here. If we send a distress signal there, maybe someone will hear it." "The humans are monsters," said the communications officer. "The Federation reports say they destroyed most of the life on their own planet. They fight wars that last for years. They eat other creatures for food. They also have the most advanced technology in this part of the galaxy," Quental replied. "Our long-range sensors have detected their radio signals for decades. They have space travel, advanced computers, and powerful energy sources." Veltar thought about this. The Federation had been watching the humans from a safe distance for a long time. The reports were truly frightening. These creatures came from a world where everything tried to kill everything else. They had survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and diseases that would destroy other species. They had built weapons that could destroy entire cities and had used them against each other. But they were also the only intelligent species close enough to help. "Even if they hear our signal, why would they come?" asked another officer. "They might just ignore us. Or worse, they might come to take our ship and make us slaves." "Maybe," Veltar said. "But staying here means certain death for everyone. At least this way, some of us might survive." He walked to his command chair and sat down heavily. As captain, it was his job to keep his crew safe. Every choice he made could mean life or death for 43 people. The Federation had taught him that humans were evil creatures who could not be trusted. But the Federation was not here to save them. "Quental, can our communications system reach Sol 3? "Yes, sir. If we use all our remaining power for the transmission, the signal should be strong enough." "Then do it. Send a distress call to the human homeworld. Tell them who we are, where we are, and what has happened to us. Use the universal mathematical language so they can understand us." "Sir, this is against all Federation protocols," his communications officer said. "The Federation protocols assume we have other options," Veltar replied. "We do not." For the next 2 hours, they worked to prepare the message. They used simple mathematics and physics to create a language the humans could understand. They explained that they were peaceful researchers whose ship was dying. They gave their exact location and asked for help. When the message was ready, Veltar looked around his bridge one more time. Half his crew was too sick to work now. In a few hours, more would collapse. By tomorrow, the ship's life support systems would start failing. "Send the message," he ordered. The transmission used almost all their remaining power. Their lights dimmed and several computer systems shut down, but the signal raced through space toward the third planet of the Sol system, carrying their desperate plea for help. "Message sent, Captain," the communications officer reported. "If anyone on Sol 3 is listening, they will receive it in about 6 hours. Veltar nodded. "Now we wait, and we pray that the humans are not as terrible as the Federation believes." But even as he said these words, he wondered if he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The reports about humans were clear. They were violent, aggressive creatures who solved problems with force. They had turned their beautiful world into a battlefield and had spent thousands of years killing each other. What would such creatures do when they found a ship full of weak, dying aliens? Veltar tried not to think about it. Instead, he helped his crew prepare for whatever was coming. They gathered in the ship's main hall, where the radiation was lowest. The sick ones lay on makeshift beds while the healthy ones took care of them. And in the darkness of space, their message continued its journey toward Earth, carrying the hopes and fears of 43 aliens who had nowhere else to turn. The humans were coming. The only question was whether they would come as saviors or as conquerors. Park Jiho was drinking his third cup of coffee when the computer started making noise. The young communications officer looked at his screens in the Earth Deep Space Monitoring Station and saw something that made him drop his cup. Coffee splashed across his desk, but he did not notice. All his attention was focused on the signal his equipment had just picked up. "This cannot be real," he whispered. The signal was clearly artificial. It was not a natural space phenomenon or interference. From Earth's satellites, someone, or something, had sent a deliberate message toward Earth. And according to the computer's analysis, it had come from outside the solar system. Jiho's hands shook as he ran the signal through the translation programs. The message used mathematical concepts and physics formulas to create a basic language. Slowly, word by word, the meaning became clear. "We are peaceful researchers from the Galactic Federation. Our ship is dying from radiation. We need help. Please respond." Jiho stared at the screen for several seconds. Then he grabbed his phone and called his supervisor. "Sir, you need to get down here right now. We just received first contact." Within 2 hours, the small monitoring station was full of people. Scientists, military officers, and government officials had rushed there from all over the world. Admiral Kim Taiho of the United Earth Defense Force stood at the center of the crowd, reading the translated message for the 10th time. "How sure are we that this is real?" he asked. Dr. Choi Nari, Earth's leading expert on theoretical alien life, looked up from her computer. "The signal characteristics are consistent with an artificial transmission from approximately 2 light years away. The mathematical language is too complex to be a hoax. This appears to be genuine." "And they are asking for help?" "Yes, sir. Their ship appears to be suffering from reactor damage and radiation poisoning. According to the message, they have less than a week before everyone on board dies." Admiral Kim walked to the window and looked up at the stars. Humanity had been listening to space for over a century, hoping for signs of intelligent life. Now, that life had found them first and it was in trouble. "What do we know about this Galactic Federation?" he asked. Lee Minho, the military's top strategic analyst, stepped forward. "Nothing, sir. This is the first time we have heard that term, but the message suggests there are multiple alien species working together." "And they know about us?" "It appears so. They sent the message directly toward Earth, which means they know there is intelligent life here." Admiral Kim thought about this. For decades, human radio and television signals had been traveling into space. If there were aliens out there, they would know that Earth had advanced technology and complex civilizations. "How long would it take to reach them?" the Admiral asked. Captain Yoon Disung, commander of the Earth Defense Force's newest deep space fleet, stepped forward. "With our latest ships, about 18 hours, sir. We would need to push the engines to their limits, but we could do it." "Sir, I must advise against this," said General Roberts from Earth Command. "We know nothing about these aliens. This could be a trap. They could be luring us away from Earth so they can attack our planet. Or they could be exactly what they claim to be," replied Dr. Choi. "Peaceful researchers who need our help." Admiral Kim looked around the room. Some of the officials looked excited about the possibility of meeting aliens. Others looked worried about the dangers. Everyone was waiting for him to make a decision that would change human history forever. "What ships do we have available?" he asked Captain Yoon. 12 vessels, sir, all equipped with our newest technology. The Terra's Wrath, Soul's Pride, New Soul, and 9 others. Each ship has a full crew and enough supplies for extended deep space missions. "That sounds like a military fleet, not a rescue mission," said Dr. Choi. "If we send 12 warships, the aliens might think we are attacking them. And if we send a single medical ship and these aliens are lying, we could lose that ship and crew," replied General Roberts. Admiral Kim made his decision. "We will send the full fleet, but we will approach peacefully. Our mission is to render aid, not to fight. If these aliens are telling the truth, they will need our help. If they are lying, we will be ready to defend ourselves." He turned to Captain Yoon. "How quickly can your fleet be ready to leave?" 6 hours, sir. We will need time to load medical supplies and engineering equipment." "Do it. And Captain, take Dr. Song Minji and her medical team. If these aliens are really dying from radiation, poisoning, they will need the best doctors we have." As the meeting broke up, people rushed away to prepare for humanity's first interstellar rescue mission. Captain Yoon called his ship commanders and began organizing the fleet. Dr. Song Minji gathered her medical supplies and called her best doctors. Engineering Chief Bei Woojin loaded repair equipment that might work on alien technology. But not everyone was happy about the mission. In government offices around the world, officials argued about whether humanity was ready for contact with alien species. Some thought it was too dangerous. Others worried that the aliens might be more advanced than humans and could easily destroy Earth's fleet. Captain Yoon did not worry about such things. He was a soldier, and soldiers helped people in trouble. It did not matter if those people were human or alien. The message had been clear. Someone was dying, and they had asked for help. That was enough for him. 8 hours later, 12 human warships left Earth's orbit and jumped to faster-than-light travel. They carried the hopes and fears of the entire human race toward a meeting that would change everything. In the lead ship, Captain Yoon looked at the star maps and calculated their arrival time. 18 hours to contact, he told his crew. "Let's go save some aliens." Behind them, Earth grew smaller and disappeared. Ahead of them lay the unknown. Captain Veltar was dying when the alarms started screaming. The radiation sickness had gotten much worse over the past day. Most of his crew could no longer stand, and several had already died. The Harmony's Edge drifted through space like a ghost ship, its lights dim and its systems failing. "Captain," Quental called weakly from his station. "The sensors are detecting something." Veltar forced himself to sit up. His body felt like it was on fire, and his vision was blurry. "What is it?" "Ships, sir, 12 of them. They are coming out of hyperspace about 1 million kilometers away." For a moment, Veltar felt hope. Then he looked at his sensor readings, and the hope turned to terror. The ships were massive, much larger than any Federation vessel. And they were clearly built for war. Each one bristled with weapons and armor plating. "Are they Federation ships?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "No, sir, the design is completely unknown. And Captain, the energy signatures are incredible. These ships are more powerful than anything in our databases." Around the bridge, the few crew members who could still work looked at their screens in fear. Everyone was thinking the same thing. The Deathworlders had come, and they had come in force. "They are sending a communication signal," reported the communications officer. "Put it on speakers," Veltar ordered. The voice that came through was strange and alien, but the universal translator worked well enough to understand the words. "Unknown vessel. This is Captain Yoon Daesung of the United Earth Defense Force. We received your distress signal. Please respond." Veltar stared at the speaker. The humans had actually come. After all the stories about their violence and cruelty, They had traveled across space to answer a call for help from complete strangers. "This is Captain Veltar of the Federation research vessel Harmony's Edge," he replied. "We sent the distress signal. Our reactor is damaged, and my crew is dying from radiation poisoning." There was a pause. Then the human voice spoke again. "Captain Veltar, we are here to help. We have medical doctors and engineers who can assist with your reactor problems. Do we have your permission to come aboard your ship?" Veltar looked around his bridge. His crew was scared. Everything they had been taught said that humans were dangerous creatures who could not be trusted, but they were also dying, and these humans had offered to help. "Yes," Veltar said. "You have our permission." On the human flagship Terra's Wrath, Captain Yoon turned to his crew. "Dr. Song, get your medical team ready. Chief Bay, I need your best engineers. We are going to save these people." Dr. Song Minji had been preparing for this moment since they left Earth. She had studied every piece of information about alien biology that human scientists had theorized. Now she would finally meet a real alien species. "What do we know about their biology?" she asked. "Not much," replied Dr. An Hyejin, the fleet's alien psychology expert. "But radiation poisoning works the same way on most carbon-based life forms. Your medical treatments should help them." Commander Park Seung-jae led the boarding party. With him were combat medics Lim Seo-young and Jin Hyun-woo, plus a team of engineers led by Chief Bae Woo-jin. They all wore protective suits in case the alien ship was still leaking radiation. When the human shuttle docked with the Harmony's Edge, Captain Veltar was waiting in the docking bay. He had forced himself to stand, though it took all his strength. He wanted to meet these legendary Deathworlders, face to face. The airlock opened and the humans stepped through. Veltar was surprised by what he saw. The creatures were smaller than he had expected, though they moved with obvious strength and confidence. Their faces were hidden behind protective helmets, but their body language seemed calm and professional. "Commander." Park stepped forward and removed his helmet. Veltar got his first look at a human face. The creature had dark eyes, short black hair, and smooth skin. It looked intelligent and surprisingly gentle. "Captain Veltar." "I am Commander Park Seung-jae. We are here to help your crew." "You are not." "What I expected," Veltar admitted. "What did you expect?" "Monsters. The Federation taught us that humans were violent creatures who could not be trusted." Commander Park smiled, an expression that Veltar found strangely comforting. "We can be violent when we need to protect people, but right now we just want to help you." Dr. Song Minji stepped forward with her medical equipment. "Captain, I am a doctor. Can you show me to your sickest crew members?" For the next hour, Veltar watched in amazement as the humans worked. Dr. Song and her team moved through the ship, treating the radiation-sick aliens with medicines and techniques that were far more advanced than anything in Federation medical databases. They worked quickly but carefully, and they treated each patient with obvious care and respect. Meanwhile, Chief Bae and his engineers examined the damaged reactor. The human technology was so advanced that they quickly understood how the alien systems worked. "We can fix this," Bae told Captain Veltar. "It will take several hours, but we can stabilize your reactor and stop the radiation leak." "Why are you doing this?" Veltar asked. "We are strangers to you. We are not even the same species." Bae looked at him with surprise. "Does that matter? You asked for help and you need help. That is enough for us." As the humans worked, more members of both crews began to interact. Lieutenant Commander Han So-min helped translate between the species, while technical specialist Kang Ji-won explained human technology to the curious alien scientists. The aliens discovered that humans were not the monsters they had been taught to fear. These creatures were intelligent, compassionate, and incredibly skilled. They had traveled across space to help people they had never met, and they were risking their own lives to save alien strangers. But the humans were also clearly very dangerous. Their ships carried enough firepower to destroy small planets. Their soldiers moved with the confidence of predators. Even their medical equipment could be used as weapons in the right hands. Captain Veltar realized that the Federation had been both right and wrong about humans. They were indeed the most dangerous species in the galaxy. But they were dangerous because they would fight anyone who threatened innocent people, not because they enjoyed hurting others. Your Federation friends do not understand us very well, Commander Park said when Veltar shared these thoughts. No, they do not. But I think I am beginning to understand. You are warriors, but you fight for others, not for yourselves. Something like that, Park agreed. We learned long ago that the strong should protect the weak. It does not matter if the weak are human or alien. As the night went on, the human engineers worked to repair the alien reactor while the doctors continued treating the sick crew members. Both species began to see each other not as strangers but as people working together toward a common goal. And in both fleets, commanders began to realize that this meeting would change everything for both their species. Dr. Song Minji worked for 36 hours straight without rest. She moved from patient to patient on the alien ship, treating radiation sickness with a combination of human medicine and improvised techniques. Her hands were steady even though she was exhausted, and she spoke gently to each alien patient even though they could not understand her words. Captain Veltar watched her work and felt confused. This was supposed to be one of the galaxy's most dangerous creatures, but all he saw was a skilled healer who cared more about saving lives than her own comfort. "Doctor, you should rest," he told her during a brief break. "You have been working without sleep." Dr. Song looked up from her medical scanner and smiled. "Sleep is not important right now. Your people need help, and I am the only doctor here who understands both human and alien biology. I will rest when everyone is safe." "But you are making yourself sick by working so hard." "Maybe, but that is my choice to make. On Earth we have a saying, 'No one gets left behind.' It means we do not abandon people who need help, even if helping them is dangerous or difficult." Veltar thought about this. In Federation space, most species would help their own kind, and some would help their allies. But humans seem to believe they should help everyone, even strangers from different worlds. In the engineering section, Chief Bei Wujin was having a similar conversation with Quental, the alien science officer. The human engineer had been working just as long as Dr. Song, crawling through tight spaces and handling dangerous equipment to repair the alien reactor. "Your technology is amazing," Quental said. "Our scientists have been studying energy systems for centuries, but your people have developed techniques we never imagined." Bei wiped sweat from his face and looked at the repaired reactor core. "We had to. Our planet tried to kill us every day for millions of years. We learned to build things that could work in the worst possible conditions." "What do you mean?" "Earth is not a gentle world like most Federation planets. We have ice ages that last for thousands of years. We have storms that can destroy entire cities. We have diseases that can kill millions of people. Our ancestors had to be very smart and very tough to survive." "That sounds terrible." It was terrible, but it also made us strong. When something goes wrong, we do not give up. We find a way to fix it. That is why we could repair your reactor when your own engineers could not." Quental was quiet for a moment. "Is that why you came to help us? Because your people do not give up on others?" "That is part of it, but mainly, we came because you asked for help and we could give it. That is what people do for each other." While the engineers and doctors worked, other humans were talking with the remaining healthy aliens. Technical specialist Kang Jiwan showed some young alien scientists how human computers worked, while Sergeant Major Oh Sang-min organized supply deliveries with the efficiency of a military operation. The aliens were amazed by human teamwork. Every human seemed to know exactly what to do without being told. When someone got tired, another person would take their place. When a problem arose, several humans would work together to solve it. They moved like a single organism with many parts. "How do you coordinate so well?" asked one alien engineer. "Practice," replied Oh Sang-min. "We have been working in teams for our entire history. In the old days, humans who could not work together died. The ones who survived were the ones who could trust each other and share the work. But you are from different countries on your planet. How can you trust each other so completely? Countries do not matter when lives are at stake. These people are my team, and I am theirs. We would die for each other if necessary." The alien did not understand this at first. In Federation space, most species were peaceful, But they were also individualistic. They helped each other when it was convenient, but they rarely made the kind of sacrifices humans seem to make routinely. Meanwhile, Fleet Communications Officer Kim Jisoo was monitoring radio signals from Federation space. She had learned enough of the alien language to understand some of their transmissions, and what she heard worried her. "Captain Yoon," she reported, "the aliens are sending messages to their government. They are talking about us." "What are they saying?" "Mixed things. Some are scared. They are calling us the Deathworlder Armada and warning other ships to stay away from this area. But others are curious. They want to know more about the humans who came to help the Harmony's Edge." Captain Yoon nodded. "Let them talk. Actions speak louder than words. When they see what we actually do, they will understand what we are really like." But the situation was more complicated than Captain Yoon realized. Throughout Federation space, the news of human contact was causing panic in some areas and excitement in others. Many worlds were demanding that the quarantine around Earth be strengthened. They believed the humans were too dangerous to interact with, even if they seemed peaceful now. Other worlds disagreed. They pointed out that the humans had responded to a distress call with medical aid and engineering support, not weapons and demands. These aliens wanted to learn more about human technology and culture. On the Harmony's Edge, Captain Veltar received angry messages from Federation Command. His superiors were furious that he had contacted the quarantined species without permission. They ordered him to break contact immediately and return to Federation space. Veltar deleted the messages without responding. "Sir, Federation Command is demanding a reply," his communications officer said. "Tell them our communication system is damaged," Veltar replied. "We cannot receive their transmissions clearly." "But sir, that is not true. It will be true if you do not fix the system until after the humans finish helping us." The communications officer understood. Captain Veltar was choosing to protect the humans from Federation interference, even if it meant getting in trouble with his own government. Dr. An Hyejin, the human psychologist, noticed these interactions and found them fascinating. The aliens were starting to trust humans more than they trusted their own authorities. That suggested something important about both species. "The Federation taught them that we are monsters," she told Captain Yoon. "But now they are seeing that we are people, just like them. It is changing how they think about everything." Is that good or bad? It could be either. If we handle this correctly, we might be able to join their Federation peacefully. If we make mistakes, we could start a war that nobody wants. Captain Yoon looked out at the alien ship, where human and alien crews were working together to save lives. Then we had better not make any mistakes. After 2 full days of work, the crisis was over. The alien reactor was stable, the radiation leak was stopped, and all the sick crew members were recovering. The Harmony's Edge could fly safely again, and its crew would live. As the humans prepared to return to their ships, Captain Veltar gathered his crew to thank them. Many of the aliens were crying, though Veltar was not sure if humans understood what that meant. "You saved our lives," he said. "We can never repay this debt." Commander Park shook his head. "There is no debt. You needed help and we gave it. That is what friends do for each other." "Friends? Yes. We are different species, but we are all people trying to survive in a big, dangerous galaxy. That makes us friends." Captain Veltar looked around at his crew and the human rescue team. For the first time in his life, he understood what it meant to be part of something bigger than his own species. Then, as friends, he said, "I think it is time for our governments to meet each other." The message from Earth arrived 3 days after the rescue was complete. Fleet Admiral Jiang Subin appeared on Captain Yoon's communication screen with news that would change the course of galactic history. "Captain, the President and the United Nations have made a decision. We are authorizing formal first contact with the Galactic Federation. Ambassador Lee Hyun-soo is being sent to your location aboard the diplomatic vessel New Seoul." Captain Yoon looked at the screen in surprise. "Sir, are we ready for this?" "Ready or not, it is happening. The aliens know we exist and they know what we can do. We can either meet them as equals or we can wait for them to make the first move. The government has decided that we should control this situation. On the Harmony's edge, Captain Veltar was having a similar conversation with Federation Command, but his superiors were not as supportive as the human government. "Captain, you have violated every first contact protocol we have," Admiral Nexus said angrily. "The humans are a quarantined species. You should never have contacted them." "They saved my crew's lives," Veltar replied. "And they did it without asking for anything in return. Maybe our protocols are wrong." "The protocols exist for good reasons. These creatures are dangerous." "Yes, they are dangerous, but they are dangerous to people who hurt innocent beings. They are not dangerous to people who need help." Admiral Nexus was quiet for several seconds. "The Federation Council is meeting to decide what to do about this situation. Until they make a decision, you are ordered to maintain your position and avoid any further contact with the humans." "I understand, sir." But Veltar had no intention of following those orders. Over the past few days, he had learned more about humans than the Federation had learned in a century of watching them from a distance. These were people who could be trusted, and the galaxy needed to know that. 2 days later, Ambassador Lee Hyun-soo arrived at the meeting point. The new Soul was a beautiful ship, designed to impress rather than intimidate. It carried no visible weapons and sent peaceful signals on all frequencies. Lee Hyun-soo was a small, elderly man who had spent his life studying international relations on Earth. He had never imagined he would become humanity's first ambassador to an alien government, but he was determined to do the job well. "Captain Veltar," he said when they met aboard the Harmony's Edge, "I am honored to meet you. Your rescue has given our species a chance to join the galactic community peacefully." "The honor is mine, Ambassador. Your people showed us what true strength means. I hope I can help the Federation understand that. It will not be easy. Both our governments are nervous about this contact. Then we must show them that there is nothing to fear from friendship between our peoples." Over the next week, Lee Hyun-soo and Captain Veltar worked together to create the Treaty of Kepler 442. It was a simple document that established basic rules for peaceful contact between humans and Federation species. Humans would be allowed to visit Federation space, and Federation ships would be welcome in the solar system. Both sides agreed to share scientific knowledge and work together against threats to galactic peace. But not everyone was happy with the treaty. On many Federation worlds, people protested against any contact with the Deathworld monsters. They believed that humans would eventually conquer and destroy the peaceful galactic civilization. On Earth, some people had similar concerns. They worried that more advanced alien species might see humanity as a threat and attack Earth before humans could defend themselves. These fears came to a head when a Federation patrol fleet arrived at the meeting point. Admiral Nexus himself commanded 15 ships, and he was not there to celebrate the new treaty. "Captain Veltar, you are under arrest for violating Federation law," he announced, "and the human vessels are ordered to leave Federation space immediately." Captain Yoon looked at his tactical displays. The Federation ships were not as advanced as human vessels, but there were more of them. A battle would be costly for both sides. "Ambassador, what are your orders?" he asked Lee Hyun-soo. The elderly diplomat was quiet for a moment. Then he activated the communication system and spoke to both fleets. "Admiral Nexus, I am Ambassador Lee Hyun-soo, representing the government of Earth. Captain Veltar is under the protection of human vessels while we complete our treaty negotiations. Any attempt to arrest him will be considered an act of war against humanity. You dare to threaten the Federation? I am not threatening anyone. I am simply stating facts. Captain Veltar risked his career to save his crew and to make peace between our species. We will not allow him to be punished for doing what was right." Admiral Nexus looked at the human ships on his screens. He had read the reports about their advanced weapons and military capabilities. A war with humanity would be devastating for the Federation, even if they eventually won. But he was also looking at Captain Veltar, who had become a symbol of cooperation between species. Many Federation worlds supported the alien captain, and wanted to learn more about the humans who had saved him. This matter must be decided by the Federation Council, Admiral Nexus finally said. Until then, all ships will maintain their current positions. For 3 tense days, the two fleets faced each other while politicians on dozens of worlds argued about the future of galactic civilization. Some demanded war against the dangerous humans. Others called for peace and friendship with Earth. The debate ended when Captain Veltar made a public broadcast to the entire Federation. Standing on the bridge of his repaired ship, with human and alien crew members working side by side, he told the galaxy what had really happened during the rescue. The humans came to us when we were dying, he said. They risked their lives to save complete strangers from a different species. They asked for nothing in return. They treated our wounded with their own medicines and repaired our ship with their own tools. These are not the actions of monsters. These are the actions of the finest people I have ever met. The broadcast was seen by billions of beings across Federation space. For the first time, they heard the truth about humans from someone they trusted. Captain Veltar was known throughout the Federation as an honest, peaceful leader. If he said the humans could be trusted, maybe they could be. Public opinion began to shift. Protests against human contact decreased, while support for the treaty grew. Several Federation worlds sent messages to Earth expressing interest in peaceful trade and scientific cooperation. Admiral Nexus found himself in an impossible situation. He could not arrest Captain Veltar without triggering a war with humanity. He could not attack the human fleet without starting a galactic conflict that most Federation citizens did not want. Captain Veltar will face a hearing before the Federation Council, he announced, but he will not be arrested at this time. The human fleet may escort him to Federation space for the hearing. Ambassador Lee Hyunsu smiled. Thank you, Admiral. I believe this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship between our peoples. The combined human-alien fleet began its journey toward Federation space. As they traveled, crews from both species continued to work together and learn from each other. Human doctors shared medical techniques with alien healers. Federation scientists marveled at human engineering. Children on both sides sent messages of friendship across the vast distances. Captain Yoon stood on his bridge and watched the alien ships flying in formation with his human vessels. Dr. An, what do you think will happen when we reach Federation space? I think we are about to change the galaxy, she replied. The Federation has been peaceful for centuries, but they have also been stagnant. They do not explore dangerous regions or take risks to help others. Humans will show them new ways to live and grow. And what will they show us? How to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Earth is just one world, but the Federation includes thousands of species across millions of stars. Together, we can do things that neither of us could do alone. Captain Veltar broadcasted one final message as they approached Federation space. To all beings who can hear this transmission, the humans are coming. They bring with them the finest qualities of their species: courage, compassion, and the determination to help others no matter the cost. They are not our conquerors. They are our partners in building a better galaxy. The age of humanity has begun, and that is the best news the galaxy has ever received. The fleet jumped into hyperspace, carrying the hopes and dreams of two species toward an uncertain but promising future among the stars.